Pennsylvania isn't just about big cities and sprawling farmlands. Hidden between mountains, rivers, and forests lie towns so enchanting they feel like they were lifted from a European painting. Quiet streets, colorful buildings, historic charm, and breathtaking views await, yet almost no one knows they exist. In this video, we're uncovering 7 of the most beautiful forgotten small towns in Pennsylvania. And when you see number 1, you'll understand why it might be the most magical place in the entire state. Number 7. Milford. Milford is one of those rare towns that feels both hidden and unforgettable at the same time. Tucked into the quiet edges of the Pocono Mountains, it's surrounded by thick forests, winding rivers, and hills that rise softly in every direction. When you arrive, the first thing you notice is how peaceful everything feels. No heavy traffic, no loud streets, just a calm mountain breeze that seems to slow you down without asking. The town has an old-world charm that hasn't been touched by modern noise. Historic stone buildings line the streets, each one with wooden doors, antique windows, and decades of stories trapped inside their walls. It almost feels like you're walking through a preserved painting rather than a place people actually live. But the soul of Milford sits on top of a hill at Gray Towers Estate, a castle-like mansion surrounded by gardens, stone pathways, and towering pine trees. When you walk the grounds, the world goes quiet. You can look out over the town, hear the wind move through the leaves, and feel the kind of peace that's hard to find anywhere else. Down in the town center, small cafes, art galleries, and antique shops create a warm, cozy atmosphere. Nothing feels rushed here. Even the streets seem to encourage you to slow down and enjoy the moment. If you're someone who loves nature, Milford is a paradise. Waterfalls, forest trails, and river viewpoints are all just minutes away. Milford isn't loud, flashy, or crowded, and that's exactly why it's so beautiful. It's a mountain town with heart, history, and a quiet magic that stays with you long after you're gone. Number 6. Bellefonte. Bellefonte is the kind of town that feels like a secret someone has been keeping for too long. Set in the rolling hills of Center County, it looks more like a quiet European village than a typical Pennsylvania town. Narrow streets wind past Victorian houses with tall windows, iron balconies, and detailed brickwork that seems almost hand-painted. When the sun hits the rooftops in the morning, the whole town glows like an old postcard come to life. At the center of it all is Spring Creek, a crystal-clear ribbon of water that runs right through town. You can walk beside it for blocks, over charming stone bridges, past willow trees, and along paths where the only sounds are rushing water and birds in the branches above. Sit on a bench for just a few minutes, and you'll feel your worries loosen like knots unraveling. Bellefonte was once a place of power, home to governors, industry, and influence. Yet today it lives softly, quietly, almost humbly. The old architecture remains. The railroad lines still curve through the hills, and the town seems in no hurry to let go of its past. Cafes sit inside refurbished Victorian homes. Antique shops fill the side streets, and local bakeries serve pastries you'll swear you tasted before in another lifetime. Nothing here demands your attention. Instead, Bellefonte invites you to slow down, breathe, and notice the details. The reflections on the creek, the sound of footsteps on old brick, the gentle feeling of time moving at half speed. Bellefonte isn't just beautiful, it's calming, nostalgic, and quietly magical. A town that feels like poetry you can walk through. If you're enjoying this, tap like and hit subscribe. It really keeps this channel going and helps me bring you even better content. Number 5. Lititz. Lititz is the kind of place that feels warm the moment your feet touch its streets. Not loud, not overwhelming, just quietly perfect. Located in Lancaster County, this town blends history and modern charm like 2 pages pressed together in the same book. Brick sidewalks guide you past centuries-old Moravian buildings, small shops with wooden signs, and local families who've lived there for generations. It's peaceful, structured, and beautifully preserved, the kind of town where the past and present walk side by side. The heart of Lititz is Lititz Springs Park, a calm stretch of green shaded by tall trees, running water, footbridges, and benches that always seem to catch the best breeze. Sit for a moment and you'll hear children laughing near the stream, ducks gliding across the water, and the soft hum of a town that knows how to relax. And then there's the smell. Chocolate. Sweet, warm, unforgettable. Wilbur chocolate has been part of Lititz for more than a century, and the scent drifts through the streets like a welcome message you can breathe in. Step inside the shop, and you'll feel like a kid again. Chocolate drops, handmade candies, history wrapped in every bite. Lititz isn't flashy. It doesn't need bright lights or big attractions. Its beauty comes from the little things. A bakery doorbell chiming as someone enters, sunlight falling through old stained glass windows, neighbors stopping to talk like time doesn't matter. Walk slowly here, and you'll realize something. Lititz doesn't just look like a postcard, it feels like one. Warm, gentle, sweet, and unforgettable in the most simple way. Number 4, Strasburg. Strasburg is a town where life moves slowly, not because it has to, but because the place itself seems to prefer it that way. Surrounded by farmland and open skies, Strasburg feels like a quiet chapter of America that never fully turned its page. Horse-drawn buggies still roll down the roads, wooden fences run along endless green fields, and mornings begin with the kind of stillness most people never get to hear anymore. But Strasburg is more than farmland. It is history in motion. In 1832, the Strasburg Railroad came to life, and almost 2 centuries later, you can still hear the deep, steady rhythm of steam engines echoing across the countryside. Climb aboard and watch the world drift by through windows framed in polished wood, barns, bridges, wheat fields waving like gold. It's not just transportation, it's time travel. The town itself feels handcrafted, like someone painted it with gentleness. Cafes sit inside old brick buildings, antique shops display memories instead of products, and diners serve homemade meals that taste like childhood. Walk the streets and you'll hear conversation more than engines, footsteps more than traffic. Everything here is quieter, kinder. History lives here, but it doesn't feel frozen. It feels cared for. Strasburg is the kind of place you go not to rush, but to remember what slow living feels like. A town where beauty isn't loud. It whispers softly through steam, sunlight, and small-town stillness. Number 3, Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe is the kind of town that makes you stop in your tracks, not because it's loud or flashy, but because it looks like something pulled straight from a storybook. Nestled between steep, forested mountains in Carbon County, the town sits along the Lehigh River like a hidden postcard that somehow escaped time. Colorful Victorian buildings line the streets, each one unique, each one holding a century of stories behind its windows. Walking here feels like wandering through a European village tucked carefully into Pennsylvania's mountains. Jim Thorpe is alive with scenery. The Lehigh Gorge. Scenic railway runs through town, carrying passengers past cliffs, waterfalls, and forests that blaze orange and red in the fall. When the train whistle echoes through the valley, it feels like history calling out across the river. The sound lingers, deep, nostalgic, unforgettable. The town itself is filled with warm cafes, small shops, and streets that climb uphill like staircases made of brick and stone. Every turn reveals another balcony, another church tower, another corner worth photographing. Nights are peaceful here. Lamplight glows against the old buildings, and the mountains rise like silhouettes around the town, quiet and protective. And even with its beauty, Jim Thorpe stays humble. People talk slow, walk slow, and smile without hurry. It's a place where you can get lost, in history, in scenery, in simplicity, and not mind it at all. Jim Thorpe isn't just beautiful, it's cinematic, nostalgic. and deeply alive. Number 2. New Hope. New Hope is one of those towns where every corner feels like it was painted just for you. Nestled along the Delaware River in Bucks County, it's a perfect blend of natural beauty, history, and artistic energy. Walking through New Hope, you're greeted with colorful streets, boutique shops, cozy cafes, and galleries that seem to spill creativity onto the sidewalks. The town has been around since the 1700s, and its history is woven into every stone building and cobblestone street. One of the town's highlights is the New Hope Lambertville Bridge, where you can stroll across the river and admire the forested hills that mirror the water below. The scenery changes with the seasons, from lush greenery in summer to fiery orange and red in the fall, making it a photographer's dream. But New Hope isn't just about looks. It has a vibrant soul. Artists, musicians, and writers have long been drawn here, giving the town a creative heartbeat that you can feel as you wander. Street performers, small galleries, and artisan shops make every walk feel like a discovery. Even though the town attracts visitors, it never feels crowded. There's a calmness in its rhythm, a sense that life moves just a little slower here, allowing you to savor the moment. The mix of history, beauty, and charm makes New Hope more than just a scenic stop. It's a place that inspires, relaxes, and reminds you how magical a small town can feel. Number 1. Ephrata. Tucked away in Lancaster County, Ephrata is a town that feels like a peaceful step back in time. Known for its calm streets, lush greenery, and charming small-town atmosphere, Ephrata is not just a pretty place, it's a town with a fascinating history. In the 1700s, it was home to the Ephrata Cloister, one of America's earliest religious communities, founded by German settlers seeking a life of simplicity and devotion. The buildings from that era, with their plain wooden walls and unique architecture, still stand today, offering a rare glimpse into the spiritual and cultural life of early Pennsylvania. Walking through the cloister, you can almost hear echoes of prayers, hymns, and daily routines that have been frozen in time for centuries. But Ephrata isn't just about history. It's about experiencing the beauty of slow, quiet living. The town has charming streets lined with cafes, local shops, and cozy parks. The nearby Cocalico Creek flows gently, reflecting the town's serene and reflective nature. Seasonal events, farmers' markets, and local art fairs bring life to the town without ever disrupting its calm, timeless charm. For visitors, Ephrata offers a chance to slow down, take in the historic architecture, and explore nature all in one place. The combination of history, culture, and natural beauty makes it one of Pennsylvania's hidden gems. Here, time seems to move differently. You don't just visit Ephrata, you feel it, breathe it, and leave with a sense of quiet wonder that stays with you long after you've gone. And that's just a glimpse of Pennsylvania's hidden treasures. Which town would you explore first? Hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell, because our next adventure might just take you to a place you've never even imagined exists.